Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some pretty kind of big news and kind of breaking news in regards to Sony, where it's now officially suspending a lot of stuff going on in terms of sales, in terms of Russia and everything else going on. We're going to talk about the details, talk about what's going on, talk about the actual overall stuff. This also may be really good for the PS5 restocks in America, just trying to have like somewhat of a smile in a kind of a rough, kind of bad situation, and as well just a lot of stuff to go and cover all throughout this video. So, hope you guys will stay tuned, I guess, and enjoy the video itself, as well kind of give me your thoughts and comments down below, but of course, as well, with kind of like the ongoing world issues, just make sure you guys are nice and cordial and all that good stuff in the comment section down below, and as well, we just have a lot of stuff to go and talk about, especially with this, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Twitter links down below to enter into another PS5 giveaway down below, and make sure you guys follow up the Twitter, follow the Twitch stream, we're playing a bunch of Elden Ring up in there, we have the Weeble and the Coinbase down below, and let's go and dive in the video itself. So, I'm sure you guys have been hearing a lot of the kind of bigger profile companies have now actually been officially making some public stances in regards to just them stopping all trade, stopping all commerce, and stopping pretty much all production over to Russia. Now, I'm sure you guys won't even have to hear about it. I'm sure you guys have all heard about the situations going on. But when it comes to this stuff, it's kind of, I would say, kind of good in the regards of them actually making a stance and doing stuff. We did go and see Sony themselves actually go and completely block off the brand new Gran Turismo sale a few days ago when that first came out. We did make a video on this, but this is actually like a part 2, because this is actually pretty much all the actual sales in terms of hardware, in terms of software, in terms of everything up in Russia itself. So we're going to be talking about this throughout the video. Now, as well, I do always want to preemptively go and say this. I know it's not the folks of, like, literally the people living in Russia's fault, and my heart always kind of breaks out to them because a lot of them are getting affected by some pretty bad economic turmoil, and same thing as well on the opposite side for the Ukrainians that are just having to deal with the situation. It's not fun, not a good stuff. Let's go talk more about the news on that. So, as I mentioned, as of right now, we have an official thing stating that Sony suspends all PlayStation sales in Russia over the Ukrainian situation. So, kind of the key points of the article itself, I'm going to kind of talk about and kind of harp on some of these things. Sony's PlayStation unit has now officially suspended two major things. There's actually kind of two to note. All of the software and all of the hardware shipments in Russia. So it's not only just online sales, it's not only just online, like, buying games, digital download games, but as well, hardware shipments. So any brand new PlayStation 4s and PlayStation 5s will not be making their way towards Russia. Though I do want to preemptively go and say, I haven't really seen too many PlayStation 5 restocks in Russia itself. We've definitely seen small bits of like Japan that's over 1 million sales, China a little bit under that, and other obviously places out in South America, Middle East, etc. So I'm sure they're there, although at least on the one bright side and also maybe bad side, we don't really see that many good sales for it. Bad side on the fact of like it doesn't really fit the PS5 sales that much. Although I do want to reiterate, when there is kind of big stuff like this, it does open up free supply, although it's probably not enough to maybe go and maybe do like 1 or 2 extra drops, depending on how long the situation goes, but it does actually have at least a somewhat of a nicer thing, because it also lets them go and allocate extra stock to other regions first and foremost, because they're not going to be sitting on stock for, they don't really necessarily know how long, unless it's already in the country itself. And part 2 is also maybe nice to the PS4 for other various regions, because I'm sure Russia's more focused on the PS4s as of right now of the PS5s, just in the comparison. So that first and foremost is, I guess, I don't want to say it's a good thing, because like, you don't really necessarily want to be like having good things from this, but it is something to kind of go and know. As well as also the PlayStation Store itself will not be available in the country, so you cannot go and get new additional games. These are just the key points. As well as this is basically right after, because we've been seeing a lot more stuff with McDonald's, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, and Starbucks too as well, who have also suspended business in Russia. So, Sony has stopped selling its PlayStation consoles and software in Russia, becoming the latest major brand to withdraw from the country over the Ukrainian war. A representative for Sony's video game unit said in a statement on Wednesday that the company has suspended all software and hardware shipments in the country, as well as the launch of the new racing title, Gran Turismo 7. The PlayStation Store will no longer be available in Russia. As we had mentioned for this before, we did go and cover that. We saw the fact that Gran Turismo 7 was not available for sale. It was not listed. You were not able to access it. You were only basically given like a to be determined, date to be determined. Although they could have officially released the game itself, they chose not to. But at that time when we made that video, you were still able to, I believe, access the other digital stores and kind of go from that. Now with this, Sony Interactive Entertainment SIE joins the global community in calling for peace in Ukraine, the company said. So we haven't had an official PlayStation blog post. This is more so in regards to kind of like more of just like middlemen and like, people kind of reaching out, because this is CNN, NBC, which is somewhat more on the bigger news side in comparison to say like a, a video game news site like an IGN or whatever. Basically stating as well, to support humanitarian aid, Sony Group Corporation announces a $2 million donation to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees and the international NGO Save the Children to support the victims of this tragedy, the company statements added. Now, as I mentioned, I didn't see any PlayStation blog posts unless I missed a tweet and list of messages on this one. It may just be for more official sources or higher-ups kind of doing like the media share and talking about this. But two things to kind of note for this one. I feel like politics and gaming news is kind of somewhat on the weirder side. I hope you guys don't mind. But I do want to give kind of a clap, mainly because no matter what happens, we want people to be safe. We want children to be safe. We want no family to kind of be left behind. And regardless of what you kind of think, either for or against it, when it comes to that stuff, I'd never want to, it's whatever you guys want. I'm not here to sway your opinions. I'm not going to change your opinions or whatever. I just want to go and say at the end of the day, all this stuff is bad situations all around, no matter which way you look at it. And when it comes to children, you never want children being hurt. And the fact that Sony themselves pledged $2 million, which, granted, they probably could do a lot more. I've been seeing other companies, even Pokemon only did like $200,000. I don't want to say only, but you guys know what I mean. But the fact for that one, that's a pretty nice donation. And them also kind of going and cutting this on off does put a lot more support towards the Ukrainian side. So it's intriguing to kind of note, and just kind of more gaming news to go and cover. And also iconic brands, as you guys may have heard throughout these past few days, with McDonald's, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and Starbucks have now suspended operations amid the outcry over the country's invasion of Ukraine. Also, last week, video game companies, too, as well, began taking steps to sever ties with Russia. Basically, with CD Projekt Red, we covered this a few days ago, who made Cyberpunk 2077, EA, and stuff like that. We're also blocking the sales of new games and content in Russia and Belarus. As well, we also did go and see this for Microsoft, saying on Friday that they would be halting all new sales of its products and services, too, as well, including the Xbox game consoles, software, and subscription services. Now, part two of this, and probably maybe somewhat ties with Sony, because Sony is somewhat of a stakeholder for Epic Games, the studio behind Fortnite, followed suit the next day, also stating it was stopping commerce in Russia in our games. And no matter what you guys kind of say in regards to Epic Games, they actually had a pretty cool statement in regards to this, saying Epic is stopping commerce with all of their games, and where they're also not blocking access for the same reason other than communication tools remaining online. So basically, it's allowing folks, say, over there in just different regions to have a chance to go and contact their family, talk to their friends they're playing with games with, and making sure everyone has a chance to go and stay safe. Which is also kind of nice to go and note and see that, because it's just kind of nice. It's just, you sometimes just need it, sometimes just go and need it. So basically, this is intriguing news. They also go on to go and say in this article, stating that Sony's decision is one of the industry's most significant moves ever. And I'd kind of agree on this too as well, because apparently for this in regards that basically, they were pretty much the biggest console maker and supplier in terms of Russia. Now, I do want to reiterate, though, in regards to, say, like, in comparison to, say, America or other various regions such as the UK, Canada, etc., I'm sure the numbers are quite a bit lower. I would actually love to see the statistics on which sales and kind of how often they've been for both the PlayStation, Switch, and also the Xbox, especially in countries like Russia. So I'm very intrigued on that. I'd be very intrigued to see the overall ratio for it. So basically, it goes in states. PlayStation has the largest installed base, so if a company on the console side has a particularly hard choice from a purely financial angle, it's Sony. Lewis Ward, head of gaming at research firm IDC, kind of an interesting name, recently sold CNBC. Which is intriguing too as well, because don't forget, we did go cover the news where we actually had one of the big Ukrainian officials go and say, please. They literally tagged the Twitter profiles themselves of PlayStation and Xbox, asking for the ban and go from there. So as of right this second, they have followed through, they have called out the measure, and they have basically said, we're not going to be allowing sales in regards to this. Very intriguing. Like I said, they had the big donation for it. I'd say that's overall good news. Once again, I do want to reiterate, this whole situation is not a good situation. When I say good news, it's kind of trying to find, like, good news in a bad day. You know what I mean? So if you guys, like, don't think I'm saying... I always try my best not to step on any toes or say anything bad, so I hope you guys never mind. But I just think it's very nice for them to have a chance to go and focus on the children that will be displaced on this, and as well, it's kind of nice to see companies kind of focus more on the kind of the world rather than their own profits. I always have to give a thumbs up and give a little bit of respect for that when we have a chance to go and see it. Overall, too, it's kind of, I still feel bad for all the normal people that are, in Russia that are just not doing anything bad. They're not a part of any things or weird schemes or all that type of stuff going on in the world. My heart goes out for all of them. My heart kind of goes out to everyone that's been so heavily affected by the situation. It's not good, not fun news to go and cover, but it's intriguing news nonetheless to go and cover too as well. So if you guys want to, give me your thoughts and comments down below. As well as I said, please make sure you guys are cordial, be nice, be respectful of the situation, everyone out there. You guys usually are in the comments, so don't worry about that. And as well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. As well, for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller, Twitter and Twitch stream as well, link down below. Sign up for that Weeble, sign up for that Coinbase, and enter on that Twitter giveaway down below. It'll give you guys more details and news all throughout these next few days. Love you guys all very much, and I appreciate you guys all so much for watching.